Okay, so welcome to YouTube. I don't even know how many weeks I am anymore.
9?
No. Well, no, actually I'm doing a show before.
Oh.
Told YouTube. So I'm 7 weeks out, which is going to be fun. Going over to Seattle to compete in America. I wanted to compete in America for quite a while, so it'll be fun to be able to go and do it. Really excited for it. Anyway, so today is Hamstring Day. I've not filmed for YouTube for ages, so it'll be good for you to be able to see it. I'm not promising that things are going to be like extra epically like strong for me, because obviously I'm very deep into a deficit and kind of progressions are kind of small, if any, at the moment, but that's fine. We've still not lost a lot of strength and things are still very good. We normally do this session over in Manchester, but we've actually got all the equipment because Cuba's just had a delivery from Atlantis in Rotherham. We've actually got all the equipment that we were using there here, and just to kind of save some time because we have chiropractor today, we're going to go and train in Rotherham. So we're going to go to the chiropractors, then we're going to go to Rotherham, and that's pretty much going to be the day. I'll probably spiel a little bit during my training sessions as to why, situation, etc., blah blah blah, whatever, as we go along. But yeah, looking forward to my pre-workout meal. It's staring at me. It's not being cooked yet in the pan, but it is staring at me. I am rather ravenous. I've kind of got to that point in prep now where I feel like if I eat slower, maybe I'll be more hungry, and then it's less time between then and my next meal when I finished it. That's basically how psychotic it does become. It's not good, is it, really? Oh well, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna look forward to my pre-workout meal. Gonna go to the chiropractors and then train. And oh, hi friend. Oh, hi friend.
I'm ready now. I am prepared.
So, we're going to talk about post-show bloating. I've actually had, well, as a female for post-show, because I've had a few messages on Instagram about it, because everybody speaks about post-show when it comes to food relationship and people struggling with adherence post-show, but nobody really speaks or touches on. I have done on a post before, so if you actually scroll back through my Instagram to post-show last year, I did actually touch on it then. You're in the way, aren't you? Yeah, it's just getting a close-up. So we obviously speak about adherence per show and people struggling with food relationships, things that you can do to obviously mitigate the food relationships going down the drain, and kind of how it feels in regards to mentality towards food per show. But as a female, obviously per show, you most of the time have lost your cycle. Obviously, even if you've not lost your cycle, probably will become quite light. Obviously, hormones are a little bit out of whack because of the heavy dieting. It's very different to a mini cut or a diet that you do to go on a holiday. Obviously, you get yourself to body fat extremes that you probably wouldn't get to unless you were competing. So post that, obviously your hormones do have to come back into play, have to come back into kind of into action, and you also have, with that, especially as a female, a lot of heavy bloating and kind of cramps and discomfort and not feeling super great in your clothes. I think as a male as well, obviously it's not to the extreme that we do with females, because we do tend to put on a little bit more weight per show quite quickly than a male does, but you still do have that. So just know that it's never something that isn't there. Like I still get bloating post my competition period, regardless of when I first started or whether it was last year, and I think it's definitely gotten much better as I've gotten a little bit kind of it's not even older, a little bit further down my field, because per show, in regards to the night of, day after, etc., I've become a little bit more controlled with my eating. I'm not restrictive per show, but I know mentally now that food's always going to be there, so I am probably a little bit more sensible when it comes to kind of the night of, the day after kind of eating, and then getting back to plan a little bit more swiftly than when I first started. So that obviously then mitigates the amount of bloat that you do get, but you're never going to get rid of it totally. And I know that is probably, on a mental perspective, quite hard, because you see the little bit of water retention, you get a puffier face, you get a little bit of bloating, you do get kind of that uncomfortable feel, you want to wear big baggy t-shirts, etc. And I've kind of just gone over what I was going to say. When that happens to me, I like to wear a nice baggy t-shirt. I like to make sure that I have my steps around my meals a little bit more, and kind of make sure that I do kind of go outside, or at least do some movement rather than just messing around in the kitchen, etc., just to try and get that digestion moving, because you've not had a lot of food for quite some time, so it's going to take a while for your body to get used to it. Is that kind of a healthy process? Perhaps not, but if you have chosen to be a bodybuilder, it is kind of a part of the journey that you are going to have to get used to. And the more times you do it, it won't get better, because it'll still happen, but mentally you will become a little bit kind of used to it, and you will get better with being able to deal with it. So big baggy jumpers, an extra little bit of walking around your meals, making sure that obviously you stick to your food plan, making sure that you're not having excess kind of fizzy drinks or energy drinks either when you're feeling hungry, and kind of a good 4 to 5 weeks per show, you will be feeling much better in your tummy, and obviously you'll probably be a little bit less hungry anyway, so you'll probably be trying to not mitigate the hunger signaling by having all these additional extras anyway. So know that it does happen. It never really isn't there, but you do get better with being able to deal with it mentally just from the more times you actually do it. And if there's anything that I'll say, every female in the industry goes through it. So if there's anybody that you speak to, any friends, anyone at all, or you reach out to anybody on Instagram, they'll all be going through it. So speak about it. Don't be kind of a closed book with it. Speak about it, be open and honest. Be open and honest about it with your coach, and see if there's anything that you can do together to try and help that kind of process be a little bit better. Another thing as well, when it comes to prepping, try and make sure that you do have a variety of foods when it comes to your competition prep. Making sure that you are obviously honest about that with your coach. I've found that having kind of not just sweet potato, chicken and broccoli for every single meal like I did in my first prep definitely makes post-show a little bit easier when obviously introducing all the other foods, if you've actually got a good mixture of other things in your meal plan already. What are you saying?
What?
So this is a pre-workout meal. Just gonna go to the chiropractor now. Carl's gonna follow us in the car, and then we're gonna go to the gym afterwards. Oh, it's Caesar. He's locked up. Board.
This one will go into the big room.
So, just had the chiropractor just being cracked up. Do you see that? Because I made everybody crack up. No, was it not funny?
No. What?
I'm cracked up.
Was that
I'm
supposed to be
making
a joke?
everybody supposed to be a joke.
Fucking terrible. Terrible, yeah. That was supposed to be one.
From diving, I've got a bit of a dodgy neck that then causes the whole left side of my kind of spine to be a little bit strange. So I feel good. He knows not to do too much on me before I start training anyway, because otherwise I just feel really shit and I can't train very well. So yeah, he knows not to. When we're on a rest day, he does a little bit more, but today that's just made my back feel so much better. So hopefully hamstrings will go well. Touch wood. It's just touched my head because obviously there's not a lot in there. So we are here at the gym about to train hamstrings. The running order of the session will be laying hamstring curls into SLDLs, but with a slight raise. It was a bit too hard off the floor with me being a little bit leaner, so we lifted it up a little bit just so that I can continue doing the exercise. leg extensions, into pendulum, into seated leg curl, into adductor, and into glute kickbacks, and that's the session. That's it. Big session. That was like a, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna be sick. Gip. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, had to delay, otherwise sputum would have come out of the chair. Talk because I don't like to talk before I do my heavy pulls because I feel like they're not going to go very well. Anyway, I matched my reps from last time at the same weight, which is obviously very positive to say that I am 2 kilos down from the last time I actually did this session. So very happy with that, good with retention of strength. And then we've just moved on to this new pendulum that Cuba's got from Predator Strength. and it's unbelievable. We were doing it on the Atlantis in Manchester, and the Atlantis pendulum is not an easy pendulum, but that's like next level hard, but not in a way that it breaks your knees like the, I was going to call one out then, the Watson. Alright.
This will be a three,
yeah, the Watson just breaks your knees, but this one's really hard, but it feels lovely on your knees, and I've got really shit knees, so that was good. It was heavy and a big cake, so it's good. I've reset the seated leg curl here is the same as the one that we used in Manchester. It's just brand new, that one. I've reset it a little bit because I was rushing it a little bit last time. My hips were coming off the chair, my back was arching, which basically means I was using momentum more than using my hamstrings. So I've decided to reset that one because it was a little bit shit. So took it down, it felt really good, so I'll progress from there again. And then we've just come on to the Ultra non-branded adductor to be able to do our adductors rather than the plate loaded one, and it feels amazing. Obviously it's quite light, so we have to use quite a lot of the pins, so eventually we'll probably put some plates on it, but it just feels great. So we've got 2 sets on here, focusing on keeping our hips back, squeezing legs together, not banging them together, making sure that our chest stays nice and tall, making sure that we're dragging and slowly bringing our legs out, not swinging, not using momentum to really get the most out of our adductors. my delts. Just because delts have obviously always been a little bit of a weak point on stage, wanted to make sure that it was a strong point. So for the additional volume that we wanted to accrue over the off season and then leading into prep, we added a little bit onto the end of hamstrings, which is actually really nice. Going to it feeling a little bit fresh, end up getting a really nice kind of pump feel at the end of your hamstring session in the upper, so it leaves us feeling really good. Do one set with a 2-second pause at the top, and then the second set with no pause at the top. Continuous motion, but obviously always a micro pause at the top and bottom, just to make sure that we're not using momentum. Always thinking about driving out rather than just throwing up, to make sure that I'm using my delts and not my traps. Session. Very happy with how performance was. Obviously some of the movements can't really compare to last session because we were in Manchester and obviously today we're in Rotherham. We'll probably keep this the same now until we go into off season, because there's no point in really trying to further fatigue ourselves by taking the travel over to Manchester when we can obviously do everything that's on our doorstep 10 minutes down the road. So that is the plan of attack moving forward with hamstrings. But no, performance is good, felt strong. I feel like I've not got as much fire, I've not got as much energy to probably chat in between sets. Probably don't have as much energy to be like super fiery when it comes to Katie's set, still trying to push her through as well. But definitely very much happy with how things are going at the moment. Obviously quite lean. For 6 weeks out, we actually have a planned diet break coming up next week. I think that my body very much needs that because we are very much ahead of trend. Personally, I think that I could probably be ready in about 3 to 4 weeks if we carried on doing what we were doing. But our goal isn't to be ready then, our goal is to be ready in 6 weeks. And I want to make sure that I look big on stage, and if I'm fatigued and whatnot, I will be small on stage, and I need as much help as I can get. This morning I had a nice visible glue tie-in with some nice detail through the back of my legs. That is where I hold or struggle to get lean myself, because the density has never been there. Everything else is in and has been for a little bit of time. There's obviously that extra bit of condition to come through where I'm walking around and you can already see, like, as in I'm not there just yet, but like when you can walk around and there's the visible kind of real cuts in the legs, like getting there, but they're not quite there just yet, but I don't need to be there yet. I think that we learned that from 2020, but also learned from 2021 that I definitely need to be a lot leaner than what I was on stage last year. So this year I'm very adamant that it'll be a really great package. I'm really excited to get on stage. I feel confident when I'm posing. I've not felt like that since I've done bigger, and I'm really excited for that, to just feel like me on stage and feel happy and feel bubbly and feel cute and whatnot, because I'm never going to be a sexy sassy person, but I want to bring me and be happy there, which I haven't been. So yeah, very excited for that. 6 weeks to go, and then yeah, be on it. So like, share, subscribe. I'm going to bring out the videos every single week up until that date. I'm going to do a vlog whilst I'm over in America, because Katie's coming with me, so she's going to film me. So we will get lots of footage there behind the scenes of me and Jade being extra skeletons. So looking forward to that. So yeah, please watch and follow along, and hope you enjoy the journey.